Hello, everyone, and I'm from the bottom of the screen again, but whatever. Um, so, um, this is the 55th session of the Devouring. Last time I said the wrong number because I was giving the wrong information, but that's fine. One of the sessions of Devouring was labeled for something else, so either way, uh, last time, um, Arosan finally got out of the crypt and didn't get very far, honestly, after that. Um,
It was fair. We had some good laughs. We had Lonnie's
That's-
expense. At
um,
least Lonnie's.
so, yeah, you continued trying to look for your father afterward, or Arosan did. Um, and then switch over to um, Lily, who did a lot of stuff, mostly just interacting with people at camp at first, anyway. Then decided to go on an adventure. She basically unknowingly threatened people into joining her quest, and after a while, they decided to go and get some backup, and they chased her all the way back to
Because she was scaring them because they thought she was a psychopath.
basically.
They're not wrong.
Well, you're not that big of a psychopath. But you just need a bit of attention, that's all.
Either way, and the last thing that happened is she made it back to the camp, and Howler saw that something weird was happening and decided to step in. So right now, I'm going to allow Ben control of Howler. You said that you watched the last one, so you should be familiar with what happened at the end.
Yeah, so what's going on here?
Yeah, basically. So the people were running up the stairs towards where...
Oh, yeah, the first part was I would have told Lily to just get in the office if she wanted to.
So she was already raging.
Yeah.
But either way, so you're standing outside. There's a large group, like a mob of people, and the one in front says, "She was making trouble."
What kind of trouble?
And they all start looking towards the one guy. And I don't have that saved on this computer. I have it up.
This is Rutar.
It's the dwarf.
Rutar was the dwarf. Yeah.
Okay. So Rotar, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Rotar, they look towards him, and he goes, "Well, she was causing people to be afraid and forcing them to go on an adventure."
Which she did. Kinda. Because she was overexcited.
Okay, so what are your accusations against her? Just having people walk with her on a stroll? That doesn't seem like much reason to kill her for.
She was acting threateningly.
How?
By... It's hard to explain.
I'm listening. If you want one of my people, then I need to know why.
Okay, so he goes through everything, including when he wasn't there. It seems like the human explained to him what was happening, before he arrived at the situation. So he just goes on to explain everything that happened.
Okay. I mean, I see that they might have been a bit scared of her, but it didn't seem like she's actually committed any crimes.
And then he just sort of looks at the rest of the group and they go, and then he looks at you and says, well, you make sure that she's under control.
I will.
They nod towards you and then the mob begins to descend the stairs.
Okay, just to figure out what, is she actually there or is she somewhere hiding already?
I think she's probably just in the room somewhere. Now,
I'm in the room.
yeah, you're in the office area.
Paula, where you last time run off to?
So yeah, I just tell the Durgars they walk away. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Guy turns around and says, oh, as long as she's on our side. And keeps going. Okay, so, yeah, I can hear you. So, Lily, I'm gonna need you to make a perception check. Okay, great. Great. So, you just were in the room, barely inside the room, and then you just walk back out, and they seem to be walking away. Alright.
Okay,
So, actually, there's going to be a bit of a time warp here. We're going to go back in time a little bit.
yeah,
I just wanted to see how that situation resolved, but go ahead,
Yeah,
what you were saying.
yeah, I just wanted to ask Lely to stay away from the underground. I don't think the dwarves like you.
But I like playing in the dirt.
Yeah, there's plenty of dirt around outside.
Okay, that sounds fair.
There's actually more dirt outside. Have you seen the ground?
So, Lily, are you going to leave the room and just do something else, or are you going to stay around Howler? There's a reason I'm asking this question.
I'm assuming it'd be a smarter idea to stay around. And is this Howler that I'm around?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll just stay around my best friend.
Alright. So, you sort of stick around. Howler, before we do our time warp, kind of have a situation that's happening that you aren't sure if you want her to see. And now we're going to go, you're sort of like trying to prevent her from going back to the room. But we'll go back in time, and Howler decided to contact this strange entity that he found out he could try to summon. So the dwarf comes into the office after the meeting, and he's standing at the war table.
Yeah.
And he has the bowl, and he sets it in front of you. And he says, so, like me to
Would you like me to?
go and retrieve what is he going to refer to it as? The Frogman?
Yeah, you should go and get them.
He nods, and we'll fast forward to when he comes back in the room. The purple Slatty is now in the room. And
So.
he has agreed to do what you want him to do. I'm trying
Yeah,
to leave it a little bit hidden because some people might not know what's happening.
Yeah, so I just hand him the bowl and I'll let him do it himself, basically.
Okay. So here's what happens. Purple Glad puts his arm over the bowl, and the dwarf, he motions for the dwarf to go ahead. And the dwarf pulls out a sacrificial dagger, and just drags it along the slatty's arm, and he actually cut him quite deep, but it still heals up before the bowl is full, and then he has to cut him again. And then it caused the bowl to fill up. And the bowl fills up, and the purple slad. Do you want him in the room during the ritual? Or
I'll just, after he's done, I'll just let him know he's free to leave.
and he nods and leaves the room. And the dwarf is standing in the room. Do you want him to leave? Or do you want him to be like a familiar face?
I would probably have asked him earlier, but how would the ritual work? Would I like be in a sort of unconscious state, just here, or am I summoning something to me?
No, it's a lot less complicated than that. I'm sure you're familiar with scrying, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he basically motions above the bowl and he says, her likeness will appear above the bowl. She will be able to gesture motion, sort of like a projected image, if you will.
Okay. In that case, I would ask him to leave when everything's ready.
Okay. He goes, alright, sure. Sure you don't want me here to help facilitate conversation?
I think I can manage on my own.
He nods.
Howler and managing on his own with a proper conversation. I have to see that.
Either way, he basically just starts reading an incantation, and then once it is finished, he says, "Whenever you're ready, stir the mixture in the bowl. She will appear." And
Okay.
he walks out of the room.
Okay, so as soon as he walks out of the room, I start stirring it.
Okay. So, stir the mixture. And a little puff appears. And it's sort of like smoke, like an image projected on smoke, appears. And you see what looks like stereotypical devilish looking woman. Horns that go from her forehead, curve to the back of her head, and then around her ears. And she's got bright red eyes, sharp teeth, that sort of thing. And she's dressed relatively formally. A kind of extravagant dress. That sort of thing. And she's just sort of standing there. And she's looking at you, but she hasn't said anything yet.
Just a second, I'm just looking up the name.
Okay.
Name's very important.
Yes, I did give you a name.
Should be here somewhere. I just have to find it.
While you're looking, do you mind sending me the document?
Yeah, sure. I have it right here.
Chat, are you putting it in?
Google Hangouts.
Okay. Technically, we have 3 chats, so currently open, or at least I do.
Chats?
Because I have the Facebook, and I have the Roll20, and I have the Google.
Ah, yes. Confused on my side.
loading. So, did you find the name yet?
No, I don't see it. Either I'm just missing it, or maybe I didn't put it. I thought I put it down somewhere.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
yeah, okay, yeah. Asmonia.
Asmonia.
So yeah, I'll just say greetings, Asmonia. I hear you have high hopes for changing the hierarchy down in the nine hells.
She goes, "Don't look familiar."
Not yet, but you will soon learn who I am. I was
Make a deal, or
I was thinking about something of the sorts. Not the one involving souls, but rather not my own, but rather a beneficial deal for both of us.
well, you seem smart enough to be able to find me. I'm sure you're aware of the situation in the hells at the moment.
I'm aware of some of it, but I'm sure you would have more knowledge being there, after all.
He nods. No, if I were there, then yes, I would have more information about what's happening there than you. However, at the moment, I am not there. And I'm not sure I can get back.
Care to elaborate?
It has been taken over. Seems far too easy for it to take. Not sure why. Still trying to figure that out myself. I'm currently on the material plane. And you actually make a perception check while
Perception.
you're looking at her projected image.
Okay, so perception. That's there. What's that? 19.
Okay. You notice that she seems to be walking in her projected image.
So
Might
You
be
headed
relevant,
off.
might not be.
you headed off anywhere in particular?
When I noticed somebody was trying to contact me, decided to head in that direction.
We do have a temple up north. If you're willing to assist us, we would be willing to assist you back.
You know where? I'm just sort of getting a sensation. If you told me the location, I might be able to get there quicker.
Well, first off, I'm sure you could write up one of your contracts to have us come in a better agreement.
See that you might be well aware of how these things work. Or at least, if you're just someone familiar with contract law, and she laughs to herself. Which you are familiar with contract law.
So yeah. So I suggest to her that I'll help her. I'll let her know the location of the temple, and even send out people to aid her on her way to find her. If she agrees to. If she agrees, first of all, like the period that she can't attack any of us, and us being attacked first. And like the part if any of them attack, she can only attack the ones that actually did it, like just not one person attacking, the contract's over, kind of thing. And that both parties, like we would try her best to assist her, and she would try her best to assist us while this shadow thing is still a threat.
She looks at you through the projected image. It seems like she can sort of see into the room, maybe, or maybe see you and just you. You're not sure, but she can look away from you. And that's what.
Yeah, it's just darkness around her.
She looks towards you, and she says, "Why don't you just tell me where you are?"
Well, I could do that, but I don't think that's the most beneficial deal for me.
Alright. Strange situation. How about you just tell me where you are? And I need you to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Oh yeah. Things just running back in.
Says that you vanished. Oh, there you go. Says that you left. Cool.
Yeah. I clicked back on my PC mouse by mistake.
That's alright.
Yeah, I'm doing wisdom save. What's the number? Because I'm probably gonna luck. So I'm gonna luck.
13.
So yeah, I luck.
Alright.
Well,
so you can respond to her however you wish.
well, it would appear you're not as welcome as I would have hoped at this temple, and I spill out blood.
Okay. And you notice that there's a lot less blood in the bowl than what was there originally. And you sit there for a moment, sort of just pondering what just happened. However,
I immediately turn on my anti-magic orb. It was not already on.
okay. You would have had to have had it off for the ritual.
Yeah. But I like immediately.
Yeah, you can turn it back on. That's fine.
Have to be a bit paranoid. Fine.
That's fine. Let's see. See how this goes. Alright. So, okay. So, basically, here's what happens. You suddenly see a shadow obscuring the light coming in. And it's a similar shape.
Of the demon. Okay. So I ask it if it's reconsidered. It might be more troublesome than it would imagine to take this whole place.
She goes, just wanted to show off the new place.
I can respect that.
So she begins approaching, and she looks at your world map war table, and she sees that there are different things set up on it, and she says, "So, you're serious about taking this world, then?"
I indeed am. Serious about everything.
She grins. Oh, I can tell. And she starts looking over the map and she says, "Seems like you have ideas for most of this world."
And we're gathering intel on other worlds as well.
She looks at the one piece that is off the map.
We haven't really gotten this whole, like, our cartographer hasn't done the best job with these other planes, but we're getting there.
She looks at the one piece that's off the map and she says, "What is this?"
The plane of air or the plane of fire? Which one?
She's pointing to Gorath's piece that you had set off the map.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the Slotties. He's from Limbo, so he wanted a piece there.
Alright. I'm going to be able to pull some resources.
When you're speaking low, I have a bit.
Okay. Yes. It's because the microphone isn't picking up what I'm saying. She goes, "Well, I might be able to pull some resources from other places, but I have to make it agreeable contract."
I find that very agreeable.
She walks over to the desk, which you are currently sitting at, which is where you were doing the ritual. And she sort of just sits on it, suggestively. And she says, "I heard you bring up some terms."
Were they not to your liking?
Well, I don't mind not attacking people, if that's all you want.
Yeah, as long as I'm okay. I start to think, yeah, I should have put that a bit better. That also means not arranging for anyone to be attacked or sending assassins, so forth. Like, shouldn't have a part of anyone's death on purpose.
So you're going for the airtight, airproof. No killing anyone, even by.
As long as they're allies or someone like that.
Okay, sure.
The rest is.
Sure, you don't want anything else.
I wish to write contract myself, finding one, instead of the ones you usually involve souls in.
But I'm not interested in that. If you help me, I'll help you.
Very well. So yeah, I have to think, what else would I...
Well, if you do end up in the hells and you actually do the company, well, I might be able to pull some strings and get you in a safe location.
Well, I don't plan on dying anytime soon. Done very well for myself on this plane.
It's she not. But if you ever end up there for any reason, and you do help me, you know me. You'll know where to find me.
Yeah, I'm kind of hard to forget.
Is she not? So you're sure you don't want anything else?
Okay, so basically the part I wanted was she would assist us in any way she could, and we would assist her in any way we could against the shadow, as long as it's a threat. That's basically it, because...
I'll make it airtight. Like, I'll say that your character makes it airtight, so you don't have to go into the minutiae.
I'm just thinking if it would be anything else. I could always add in an extra special offer if you are interested.
An extra special offer?
I haven't given it out yet to anyone. but I know I'll need one.
What is the offer?
So yeah, he'll say it like without laughing, like I did. But, he's an offerer to be first lieutenant in Grand Admiral Howler of the Aquans Fleet.
She sort of just furrows her brow, but she's
It's
genuinely
just a
trying
title that everyone on the material plane would know.
She goes, I have higher goals than you, but thank you for the offer. She's genuinely trying to be
Well, just remember that when you try to come back.
well, I'm sure I'll have an in either way.
They're expanding quite quickly.
She nods. Okay.
But either way, it seems good on my part, unless you have anything you're thinking about adding.
Do you have this all written up?
Yeah, I would like to start writing it down. Like, I wouldn't take out the whole block of contracts, just one of them written off. Start writing.
Okay. So when you finish writing, she'll have something.
Okay.
So you finish writing the thing.
Yeah.
And she takes it, and she begins writing something at the end, kind of like an addendum.
Okay.
And then she passes it back to you.
I read what it is.
Okay. It says that this contract, in order to be officially sealed, as in like binding,
Yeah.
The ritual of internality is what's written there, must be performed. And she passes it back to you. You have no idea what that ritual is.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that ritual means. I'm not signing it.
She goes, not painful for you or anyone.
I still won't sign anything unless I have full clarity on what I'm getting into.
He goes, well, I won't sign it, but we'll again say it won't harm anyone. And it won't harm you. And it's just saying that it might be a little bit nicer than you think. But if you don't want to sign it, and she starts walking away.
Have I heard anything about this ritual before?
You can attempt to find out by, I'll say you can use either history or arcana.
Same both. So history. Have I heard about this? 10.
You've actually read a little bit about this. Apparently people afterward, this is the only thing that you've read about it. It's very vague, the passage you read, but apparently they come out happier after having performed this ritual. They're not sure what it is. Apparently it makes whoever performs it happy.
Yeah, that seems too sketchy for others, so he's not gonna sign that.
Okay. She starts walking out the room.
I'll come back if you ever change your mind.
Not me, his mind needs to be changed. And she looks back at you.
Or if you have more information about so-called ritual.
I have all the information. I know how to control it. I know what it is. I'm surprised you don't. And she grins at you. Her sharp
Well,
teeth.
I'm happy enough already. I don't need rituals for that.
She smiles. Me knowing what this is, it's way funny. Um, so she looks back at you and she says, "Oh, you don't need to become more like me. It's just a side effect."
How about for my end to know that you're telling the truth? How about you sign a contract that says you'll tell me everything you know about this ritual? And why you're so insisted on us signing it? Then I will perhaps sign it. Unless you have some malicious intent.
She turns around to you, Chloe, and she just has a big grin on her face. And she says, "So you're one of those, huh?"
Yeah, I'm one of a kind.
Not really. Not in this aspect. And she just smiles at you.
But in most.
It seems like she thinks that you know something that you apparently don't.
I'll pretend I know everything, because I know everything. Come on.
Howler, the great pretender.
She goes, "I'll give you a hint if you promise to accept once I say it."
I mean, I can't promise, but what's to make me not go back to my word?
She goes, "You're just playing hard to get." And she walks out of the room.
Okay. Come back if you ever change your mind. Tell her again.
Smiles again and says, "Your mind that needs to be changed." And she walks down the steps. And a few minutes later, as you're sort of cleaning up the blood on the desk,
Yeah, I get rid of the contract as well, because I don't want like anything accidentally spelling on it.
okay, do you just attempt to destroy it, or do you just put it away? Or
First, I try to like erase what's there and then destroy it, basically, or write over it, like cross it out, and shit like that.
okay, so you don't want to clean up the blood first? You want to do this first? I'm just trying to get the order.
No, that's from the start. Yeah, I was just what? Well, but yeah, no, I would clean up blood after, because I think the contract's more important.
Okay. Start fiddling around with the contract. It's just like a regular piece of paper. It's
Yeah.
just that it seems like once it's signed, it has some sort of magic.
I just also write this contract is not valid until Howler is Lord of all hells and accepted as a god by the other gods.
Okay, so you start writing.
Yeah, like
that.
it's not valid until then. So if all of that happens, then sure. Well, what's the little ritual gonna do?
Okay, so you start writing, and you just start making sure that if somebody somehow forced you to sign this contract, it wouldn't be binding or anything.
Fine print.
Yeah, basically. And as you do so, about 5-6 minutes later, you having fun fiddling around with this contract, trying to make sure that it will never come true with someone tries to force you. There's you hear somebody coming into the room.
Okay. I look and see who it is.
Okay. You see The dwarf.
Which one?
That helped you conquer.
Does it look like he has any malicious intent now that this god, or he's worshipping this demon? So I'm like trying to figure out if he's gonna try and kill me or what's up with him.
Okay. Make an insight check.
I'm also not great at those. 15. I'm great at everything.
I don't see 15.
Should come there. A score up.
Yeah, it says 10. That's the last one.
Okay. I can reload.
Yeah, I'll just charge it again.
Yeah, by me it says only 10, so...
I'll reload then as well.
Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, it's gone now. Once I reloaded. Probably poor internet. But I can roll again.
I can go with 15. I'm fine with that, but it's just that it didn't show up. I just want to make sure that it's more than
Yeah, it's up to you. It was a 15, but I can roll again.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
It showed up.
15.
Yeah, okay, there.
I don't know if you just rolled another 15 or...
No, it just came in, like, once I finished loading.
Okay, it's delayed. Definitely.
Yeah, that's alright. I was just trying to make sure everything's working. So, what happens is...
A snowstorm starts coming out all of a sudden. And stopped.
Yeah, Lonnie... microphone is screwing up. So... You want to
Can you guys
try
hear me okay?
situation? I have a review. Just in case you can't understand it. Because that probably happens understanding.
Oh, I think we lost her again.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Did I take damage as Howler today, or did I forget to add my spectacle?
You probably just didn't put your full rest stuff in.
Okay, I'll just do that then. I used one luck. I think, yeah.
We're just patiently waiting.
Okay, so here's what's happening. 15 insight. See that the dwarf is not have ill intent. He has a very confused look on his face.
Okay. I just heard to be a safe and story. People tend to get crazy when they meet their Lord and Savior.
Comes into the room, and he's like, "What happened?"
Well, I felt it was wrong talking through this bowl, so she contacted me instead.
She showed up. I see that. She's outside. I saw her, so I went over, obviously. And she said that the deal didn't work out. What went wrong? What happened?
Well, she wanted. I wasn't comfortable with all of the terms to put in. Perhaps if you're willing to... actually, I asked him, perhaps, do you know what... what's the thing called again?
It's just called. I came up with that on the spot.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The ritual of interior, not interior, in something. Wow. In it was in something. I can't remember.
Insemination in Islana. Insomnia.
Must have been something like that.
In something.
I think it was interior.
Can you speak, Lonnie? Or
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yay!
Not all noisy. So, I think it was. I don't remember what it was. Does anybody remember what it was?
What was?
That's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, what was the... Because
I as far as I remember, it was the ritual of insemination. But I don't know.
In
You
what?
might have said something else.
In what?
Insemination. Or that's what I remember.
Insemination.
Insomnation. I don't know.
Okay, that's not what it was.
Yeah, probably not. That's what I remember.
Okay. Well, it's in something. There's a reason it's called that.
Yeah. I didn't take it down because I wasn't planning on signing it.
Okay. Trying to come up with something.
I mean, he knows how these things work, so he's not gonna do something annoying.
do some good.
I'm just gonna change it to. I had something cool. I can't remember what it was.
It's fine. I don't know what it meant either, so it's
No,
fine.
here it is. This is better than interior anyway. But I don't remember if this is what it was before. In section.
In section. I don't think it was that, but yeah, sure.
This sounds that's better than interior. But anyway.
Okay. So I asked him, you wouldn't want to let your goddess down after traveling all this way, would you?
He goes, well, I didn't know. Well, she explained the terms of the contract to me, and nothing seemed.
Do you know what
unreasonable.
the ritual of insemination is?
I'm not that high level of priest, so I.
Then you wouldn't mind signing something that says you'll tell me everything you know about it.
Sure.
Okay, sure. This is like lie detector too now. That's great.
Okay. He signs a piece of paper that just says that if he knows anything, he will relay that information to you, basically. And I'm gonna say that it's airtight.
Yeah.
So he goes, I don't know. Something that the higher level priests did with the goddess.
Huh.
They never
Well,
went
I don't think
about
that's...
it, but they always came up looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So
I mean, I knew that already. I was just hoping you would know something else.
well, no, it's not something that forfeits your soul or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't harm anyone.
I still...
Some of our other rituals do. Not this one. One person goes into a room, and they come out happy afterwards.
Okay, you're completely useless. You can go now.
And he nods and he says, "Really? You're gonna get all against this because somebody wants to make you happy? Fine." And he leaves the room.
I'm happy enough as is.
He leaves the room. Alright, so I guess the thing that I was saying that your character didn't want to show her is not there. So,
Okay, sure.
She comes into the room and that perception check was useless and all of that nonsense. So, what do you guys want to do?
So, yeah, I was just asking. Yeah, you stay out, but we did that already. So yeah, what do you want to say?
I didn't catch most of that, correct?
No, I don't think you catched any of that. It was just we were talking about you staying out of the underground and that there was a lot of dirt outside. More dirt.
Right, lots
Yeah.
of dirt. I could have so
I'll
much
say
dirt.
that when you were going up the stairs, a dwarf was coming down the stairs. That was all that you saw of it.
The Durgar?
I thought that he would sign the contract because it would make him happy, but whatever. That's fine. He doesn't have to do that. So, now what?
Howler, I missed you so much. I haven't seen you, and it feels like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Hugs his knees.
Yeah, I would have missed me too if I hadn't seen you for weeks.
Technically, Howler is a halfling, so you're hugging his knees. You're like crawling on the floor to hug his knees.
Yeah, basically.
Did I ever tell you that you're my favorite Howler?
Yeah, I don't think I've met many people who's named Howler, but I'm probably the best. What did you say?
I've missed you so much.
Yeah, I would assume so. Most people do.
Kanye, anybody?
Okay, so that happens.
So when are you returning to the plane of air? It should be tomorrow morning, right? Or
Wait, yes.
maybe you should get some rest until then. Seems like you have work to do.
Get some rest until then.
Why does my voice sound so weird?
I don't know.
Okay, she's down to get some rest.
Sure.
Until then.
Problem solved. Crisis averted.
Alright, that happens.
For now.
Alright, so we're gonna say that we'll switch you back to Gora.
He was going to rest as well.
Okay, so you know where we left off? Did you want to do anything in between then and now?
He's exhausted, so he's going to rest.
Okay, yeah, he's out of stock. Pretty much. So I guess he could try to rest, sure. Then in that case, we're going to switch over to Arosan. Give me a perception check.
Perception. It will be. Perception. Where did you leave? Where did you go? There you go. I said perception. It takes little to roll.
Apparently. Hold on.
He's
Updating it or
There we
Whoa, there we go.
13.
So 13. With 13, you continue along for a while, moving at a quicker pace because apparently that dude in the hood and that flying thing, whatever they are, apparently they notify the big thing that attacks people that you don't know what it is. So So you decided to try to go move faster, try to get to where you're going quicker. You don't see anything along the way, but I'll need you to make a survival check.
Survival, oh boy. 18.
Alright? So sometimes those water veins push you a little bit further than you expected, but that doesn't change where you are headed, because you actually factor in that the water is pushing you further away from where you want to go, that sort of thing. And you do it fairly well. Everybody else, they look confused at you as you try to course correct, because they think that they're supposed to go the other way, but you manage to turn them back onto the correct path and you get them to the right location. So you are at what looks like there's actually make an investigation check of this particular area. I'll say your character arrives in an area, make an investigation check. Alright,
18.
You see the remnants of what look like camping supplies, like tents and cooking pots and things like that, buried under rocks that were just thrown into the ground.
So this was your camp, I presume?
So, or your mother goes, yeah, I suppose so. You
Well,
look at the cooking pot that you sort of just nonchalantly look at, and he goes, yeah, this is the pot we were using when we were attacked.
well, I guess salvage what we can salvage.
He looks to the others. The ones that can actually grab things start picking things up. Because the man-child cannot pick things up. They do not have hands.
Yeah. So Arosan uses DT as kind of a low lookout tower, so to say.
And the man-child still do help. Like, they sort of use their scythe-like arms to try to move some of the rubble. They're not very quick at it, but they help out a little. They do their best.
Every little bit helps.
If they had hands, they would be able to help more, but they don't, so they can't. They start trying to flip over boulders, see if they find anything, and if they do, then they sort of make a screeching noise, and somebody goes over and tries to pick up whatever it is. Though they are willing to carry supplies, they can do that. They just can't pick anything up. They're sort of like horses. They can't take the supplies out or anything. They can put supplies on them, but somebody else has to remove the supplies from them.
Yeah.
So they're willing to help out in that way. Although, if they do carry any supplies, they can't fly. Or glide, I should say. Is all that they can do. So their gliding ability will be disabled if they do.
Well, I don't think we will be gliding anytime soon.
Okay. So they have supplies. And you actually managed to salvage with your investigation check most of what they had. Though there was food, which is no longer there.
There was a what?
Food.
Hmm.
But the food isn't there. But those tents and stuff are there. Some of it's broken and needs repairing, but they'll worry about that later.
Yeah, they will worry about it later, so now that we have everything that we can get, so where did the second group head to?
He goes that way, approximately. She points, if you have your map handy, you are currently at the, I'm going to try to explain this without having to show it.
Hold on, let me just grab it.
You
There
are
we go.
near the middle of the southern edge of the water veins.
Uh,
She points west of you.
So towards the Earthen Sea, kinda Aquan Sea.
Yeah, in that direction. And you're kind of in the middle of the bog.
Okay, well
She points
then,
over that way. Approximately.
well, let's see if we can find him over there.
He nods. Yeah. So I anticipate some of the members of that group is finally.
Could you speak up, cause
Yeah, I know it's not your fault, but it annoys me that I can't speak at the volume that I normally do. She goes, well, I know that some of the members of the other group are actually going to miss some of the people who got crushed in the church.
yeah,
So just be prepared for that.
yeah, I guess so. But well, we have to get on our feet quickly, and well, we have a destination after that, up north.
Well, we can try. Well, anyway,
And if you guys are lucky, there might be a ship all the way west. Who knows?
he starts thinking. Um, I'm going to get you to make an investigation check, see if you can pick up a trail.
Investigation. Where did it go? Investigation.
Yeah,
23.
you find a trail. Because they're not trying to hide it, so it was pretty easy DC, but you got way over it. So you find their footprints. It's pretty obvious where they went. And it looks like the creature just chased the other group and not them. So there's no debris or anything in the way. There's just heavy footfalls in mud that is heading slightly north but west.
Yeah, so Arosan starts following it and tells everyone to go that way.
You start following that, make another perception check.
Ooh.
Alright, you continue along. You're still following the trail. And suddenly you notice that the foot trail goes into one of the water veins, and you can't see what's on the other side, but it looks like they're heading directly into one of the water veins, and you can't see where it goes from there.
Well,
So it
just
might
like
be on the other side, it might be who knows where.
yeah, so what I did the first time, height in the ground, tie rope to it, tie rope to myself, and go through.
Okay. So you get pushed down a little ways, but I'll say for this it doesn't really matter. And you get to the other side.
Then I look for the footprints again.
Okay. Another investigation check.
19.
You don't see anything. And judging by the depth of their footfalls, you think that you would have seen it.
Oh no. So I have 50 foot of rope. I'm going to go downstream of the full length of the rope, but that I still can get out on the other side.
Okay. You don't see any footprints.
Okay, this is bad. So I tie off. So I make the length to the other side as short as possible. So I make the rope go straight through the water vein and then tie it off on the other side and yell over to the others to come over.
Right? They start heading over. And when your mother gets across, she goes across first to make sure it's safe enough for everybody. Just as to make them feel safer. Um, Not that you did a bad job tying it off. So she goes across, and she comes through, and she says, "So, you said you found a trail, but you came over
Here?
here and you told us to come. Is there anything open here?"
Well, no trail anymore.
Well, I mean a few things.
They either went down the water vein, or they start covering their tracks.
It could be either of those.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Well, get everyone onto this side, and well, I guess we should go to the coast. I guess that's the safest spot right now.
Oh, that's a little ways away from there, but we can attempt heading that direction. Sure.
Yeah, don't think it's smart of thee to just risk everyone's life, or, well,
I see your logic, and that's fine. I'm just saying that it's quite far away to get to the shore.
yeah, I'm also thinking of that if they're willing to come with us towards the other group, towards maybe friends, family, who knows what, brothers, sisters.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll have to ask them.
Yeah,
And as you see them going across, you actually notice that the Manti have a hard time holding onto the rope, but they still do. And this is how. They have 2 legs, or 4 legs, 2 sets of legs is what I noticed. So what they do is they hold on with the front in the water, and then they move their back legs to hold to where their front legs are, and then they move their front legs, and they hold on with the back, and then they just keep going like that in order to get across the road. They look like they're having a hard time doing it, and they're really slow, but they manage to do it. It's kind of funny watching them, but it's how they have to do it.
but
They don't have
if
hands.
but if they can give me enough time, well, I do think I have a few supplies carried by DT. I mean, he can just walk straight through like it's nothing.
Well, yeah, but if he's holding anything light and he's going in the water, the pressure, the current of the water might throw things out of his arms. But I assume that you would have that kind of stuff tied down, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Either way, so they're all managed to get to the other side. So what do you want to ask?
Well, ask them if they have any friends, family, or whoever they find important with the other group.
They go, yes, they could be anywhere. They could be not even with us anymore.
Yes,
One
so
of them.
the question is, well, there's this slight problem. I can't find a track of them anymore on this side. So the thing is, we either go to the sea, which I think is the safest spot, but if you're willing to come or willing to go search for the other group, then, well, we go search for the other group, because I think they're down the water vein.
They start looking at each other, and the manti that can speak common sort of just scuttles over and says, "What problem?"
Well, I can't find a track anymore.
It looks over towards one of the other ones, and you hear go. And it looks, the one that can speak to you looks to you and says, What about when this? And motions to the water.
Yeah, I think they might have gone down the water vein, but if that's the case, then I asked the people if they either want to come with us to search for them down that way, or go towards the sea, which might be more safe.
Alright?
There might be even a boat.
One of the manti just makes screeching noises for a second. And then you see it jump into the water and get pushed away. Downstream.
And he did do that because...
The other one looks at you and says, he sees that you're confused, and says, "Said we search for friends. We search for friends."
Ah, well, is it a good idea to go alone? Oh no.
Okay. And then, as soon as you said he doesn't need to go alone, the one that can speak common says, "Okay," screeches at the others. All of them jump in the river.
Yeah, gosh darn it.
Might be a cultural difference, you're not sure, but or miscommunication, but they're gone.
So just up systems goes like, oh, why me?
People, the civilians that are with you go. We go? Them?
We can go with them, but it's all up to you if you want to find the other, really want to find the other group for friends, family, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, whatever if they are still there.
They look at each other, and most of them start to nod in agreement as they're whispering to each other.
What was the last part? Cause
they start to nod in agreement as they're whispering to each other. And one of them approaches you and says, "We need to find them, if we can."
okay, well, who's up for a swim?
They start jumping in the water. Your mother's currently standing behind, and she says, "We're really not going to let them go alone, are we?"
No, we're not.
Alright.
But
she jumps in the water.
Slight problem, because DT is too heavy to actually be carried by the water stream.
That's fair. They didn't take that into account.
So Arosan just climbs onto DT and just tells him to follow the water stream.
Luckily, it beats like the rhythm of a heart. So luckily, they are stopped momentarily at certain points. So you managed to catch up.
Yeah, in the time that we are riding, Arosan is just fixing up DT with mending.
Okay. I'll say that he's at half hit point.
Half hit point. Ooh boy.
Okay, so that happens. You get quite far downstream. You were going for about 10 minutes. And
yeah, I'm also
one of the civilians has been curving up towards the very tip top of the water, and they're sort of just riding on the top of water that is rounded above the land. Kind of an interesting visual.
Yeah, what I forgot to mention was, as we were riding, I'm also keeping out one eye for the tracks that might be there, who knows.
Okay, cool. But you've been going for about 10 minutes. And I'll say make a perception check. At disadvantage.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
13.
Okay. You don't see a trail. However, on the opposite side of the water vein, you see figures standing about 500 feet away as the rest of the group is just getting pushed down the water.
It's just 500 feet away?
Yeah. And you know that you move about 70 feet downstream per pump, and there's one pump per 6-second round.
So I order DT just to... I clamp on DT as tight as I can and order DT to just go straight to the stream to see what's 500 feet away.
Okay, so you're going to tell him to go through the stream with you on him?
Yeah, as I clamp onto him, because I bet there are still pieces or holes in him which I can grab on into.
Okay, so you manage to grab onto a location, however, as he jumps into the water, he moves a bit slower, quite a bit slower in the water, but he does sink to the bottom, and he just starts running across. However, a gush of water attempts to push through as you are holding on. So I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You should have seen this coming.
16! Hooray!
16 was actually the DC I came up with. So, you managed to just barely hold on, however you lose grip with one of your arms before he comes out the other side, and then you're just sort of hanging by one arm.
I just pat him and says, "Good job, buddy."
He just sort of looks over at you, hanging off his shoulder, and he just sort of lifts his arm and sees you sort of hanging under his armpit, and he just sort of focuses in on you.
I clamber back up onto him and then check through my scope what that thing is that is 500 feet away. Well, I guess less now.
Yes, it's less at this point. But you look, and it looks like a small group of people huddled around a makeshift fire.
So, Arosan, can I still see that one person that's on top of the water?
They periodically come up for air because they can't stay underwater forever. So they periodically just go up and then dive back down.
So Arosan yells as they come up to come out of the stream.
Okay. You mentioned that. One of them, humans, I'll say, sort of just looks down and gives a thumbs up, goes underwater and starts getting everybody's attention in the water, and they all start coming in. Though they're about 100 feet ahead of you.
Yes, so Arosan keeps an eye on the people around the fire.
Right? They're not doing much. They're just sort of...
Are they looking like the strange cloak guy?
I'll say make an investigation check. Since you're looking at them for a while, you can look at them over, see if there's anything suspicious about them.
21.
No, there's nothing suspicious about them. In fact, someone is wearing relatively familiar clothing. You swear that you've seen this particular outfit in your father's wardrobe.
So Arosan, of course, gets a bit excited and just hopes everyone, including the... what were those? Mantis? Praying
They're called
mantis?
Manti.
Manti.
M-A-T-I.
Yeah. Yeah, the Manti hopes that they are also there.
Okay. They start coming out of the water, and the Manti are out of the water.
So Arosan points towards the small group that's, I guess, 450 feet away.
Alright. They look over. The Manti specifically look at you and look towards them. And then they start running off immediately.
So Arosan just tells DT to grab his mother and then just charge towards the group.
So he's mixed in with some of the other people, but he listens to your order and he grabs her out of the middle of the group. He just sort of leans over a little bit and just picks her up.
As he picks her up, he tells the group that I think I found orders.
Right? You start charging towards the group, and they sort of stand up and look towards you guys, and they seem happy. And yes, you recognize one of them as your father. He's one of the more stereotypical, traditional, if you will, elf. He's got the super long hair. He's got like the traditional, more traditional elven clothing, more like leaf motif in the clothing. But he's very well dressed, even though it's been the apocalypse. So the clothes do have like wear and tear. Still, like the one dude in the business suit in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. He's doing all right. He's looking pretty all right.
Yeah. So as soon as Arosan gets close enough with T, just jumps off and goes up to his father and hugs him.
Right. You hug him, though you know that he is very traditional in how he acts as an elf, and he's not very affectionate in that way. So he just sort of goes. He's just sort of looking around awkwardly as you hug him. Sort of like the person who just holds their arms to their sides when you hug them. That sort of thing. And he's just sort of like... And then he sort of reaches his arm around your back and pats your back softly.
So Arosan lets him go, then tells DT to put his mother down as well.
She goes, and she gets put down. And she goes over and hugs him as well, but he sort of does the awkward, yes. After, and then he goes,
Oh, come on, Sourpuss. You missed it as well.
well, I fear for your lives, yes. But, you know, not like that. And she goes, she just sort of waves him off. And she goes, so how's this group been managing? He looks around. Nobody's dead. I'm like, your group. Either way, he motions towards him and he goes, dealing with this attitude.
Well, we had a bit less luck.
He looks over the group. He sees the weird mantis creatures. He knows what they are, but he goes. And he motions towards both of you to get closer to him so you can not speak as loudly. You get closer to him.
Yeah,
All right.
but
And he
speak
goes,
up.
yes, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to stage whisper, if you will. He goes, you're with some of those abominations before. And he just sort of glances over you guys and looks at the man-time. And then looks back at you guys.
Arosan just frowns at him and just steps on his feet.
Steps on your father's foot.
Yeah, just stomps it and goes like, really? Now? In Apocalypse? Even now?
He goes, ah! Yes. You know my opinion on those things, or at least you should. And your mother goes, absolutely. And he goes, no. Not
You
even
know,
distance when I was small.
you know, there is a bigger problem right now, right? Like those shadow things.
Do they even understand you?
One of them does.
He glances over and he looks at them. They're all similarly colored and shaped. And this is going to sound funny. He goes, how do you even tell them apart? How do you know which one can speak?
Well, he will speak up.
He goes, there. He walks over and to them, he bypasses the rest of the group, which is currently commingling with the other group, trying to see if they can find who's there, who's not. And you
Yeah,
start hearing-
Arosan goes to the human group and tells them, well, to make things a bit simpler, some people aren't with us anymore.
I was going to say that they noticed
Yeah.
some of them weren't there and there were sobbing happening, and wailing and other things of that nature. However, your father goes up to the man-tie group, which they haven't like commingled with everybody else. They're sort of just standing off to the side, awkwardly. So what do you want to do? He's going over towards them. You want to join
Yeah,
him?
after he forms all the people, he goes after his father, making sure he doesn't, well, makes a worse situation.
Alright. He goes over to them, and he says, which one of you can speak? And one of them walks forward. The one that was speaking before. You seem to have a better eye for discerning their patterns. They do have different spotted patterns, so inevitably you can tell them apart. It's just that they look very, very similar. And the one approaches and he goes, "Here's I." And your father goes, "All right, does your group understand what's happening?" And it looks over to the others and they start screeching. And you can tell your father, as soon as he hears the screeching, visibly not. It's like he's hearing nails on a chalkboard. It's just sort of wincing and trying to understand it.
So Arosan just gives a little shove with his arm, goes like,
I know it's not the most pleasurable sound, but that's how they communicate.
And he looks at them, and one of them, the one that can speak to him, continues to speak and says, "They are very much confused." And he goes, and looks at you. Says, I don't know if you heard it.
no,
He
I
said-
didn't hear that
Okay.
at all.
He said, "They're not going to be of any use to us." But he's whispering.
So Arosan gives him a bit of a harder shove this time, and then looks at him and says, yes, they are.
And he looks at you very, and almost like thinking sort of look. And he goes, "How are they going to be useful? They don't even know what's happening."
Well, perhaps he doesn't understand you quite right, because he might think you mean this what's going on with the group right now, not with the whole planet.
He just goes and starts pinching the nose of his bridge, the bridge of his nose, and he's visibly frustrated. He goes, "Do you?" And he's doing the thing where he's acting as if they're deaf, just because they might have a hard time understanding him. So he speaks louder, even though he doesn't have to. He goes, does your group know the situation that is happening in this world currently?" And he makes the exaggerated hand gestures and everything. And the creature looks over towards the others, and some sort of weird chemical-like smell permeates the air. And then he looks back, the one that can speak, and says, "We are quite confused.
Okay, so
We
they
just awoke
don't.
not long ago." Sorry?
Yeah, so I might have forgotten to explain that well. It's kind of the apocalypse. Because there's this kind of shadow creature thing that's taking over everyone. But yeah, and well, there are people who are not taking over. That those are trying to fight the shadow back.
You can tell that it is visibly confused due to the fact that, like a puppy dog, tilting its head to the side as you're talking.
I know it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to explain, but that's the very basic I'm giving right now. Because if you want me to go in more in depth, you'll be more confused than ever.
It says, just a desert.
You know, the whole world is affected by this.
It tilts its head more. And then your father sees it tilting its head. Their brains are small. They don't understand.
One more time and I will make you trip in the sand.
Which you're aware Manti can be even more intelligent than humans at certain points. They can be, like they have the potential to be, but they tend to be secluded, which is part of the problem that you think is happening here, but your father is just dismissing them outright.
Yeah. One more time, Dad, and I swear I will make you trip again.
Why would you? And then he looks at the Manti, and he goes, "Can you help us survive?" As he's talking really loudly again.
I make him trip.
He falls on the ground. And then he's,
I warned you. They're not stupid.
gets up, dusts himself off, and his really fancy robes are now slightly dirty. And he goes, "Fine." And he looks at the Manti and he says, "You know where the water veins are." And the Manti tilts its head and then looks at the others. Weird chemical smell comes over the air. Actually, make an intelligence check.
Straight up
See if you
intelligence.
pick up on, yeah. See if you want to pick. I want to see if you pick up on something. Okay, you do. It seems like the weird chemical smells seem to indicate how they express emotion. Like their faces aren't very expressive because they're covered in chitin and they can't move easy because they have an exoskeleton, so it's kind of hard to move those plates.
Yeah.
So how they express emotion is by giving off different smells. So whenever you're asking them questions that involve emotion, seems like that's when they give off a smell to demonstrate what emotion they're feeling. However, to you, it just smells like this weird, almost like in a hospital type.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's just very chemical-like. And you know, based on that intelligence roll, that it's pheromones that they're using. So the pheromones are quite thick for you to be able to smell them. So that's what you get from that. They're sort of like ants in that way. They can communicate using pheromones. So just so that way you can grasp what's happening a little easier.
Yeah.
And the one that can speak sort of looks at you and tilts his head and says, "No.
You just use them. Those are the water veins.
It looks towards one of them. Weird water structure.
Yeah, those are the water veins.
And it looks at your father, and then goes, "We know this. Yes, we know." And then he goes, "I mean the location. It's a part of the world." And
Arosan just rolls out his map and then points it out like, do you know this?
they look at the map, and the one that you're currently speaking to looks over towards one of the other ones, and it makes a little and walks over and sort of just looks down and then looks at the one that can talk and goes, right. And then the one that can talk looks at you and says, "He saw a map before, like this, but he never been here," and points to the location that you're indicating.
Well, we kinda currently are right here as it points towards the water veins, and my plan was to go all the way up here as he points all the way up north where there's no city at all on the map.
And he looks towards the one that's seen the map, and it makes some more screeching noises. And then it tilts its head and says, "Never been there either."
Well, there's good news. There's a city there, and it's not cold for some reason, because there are trees there, there's stopper cold there for somehow.
It looks over, and the other one nods. And he goes, "Yes, we know. Heated forest. Hot."
Yeah, it's a good thing. But yeah, I bet even you didn't know about the city there, Dad.
It looks over towards the other one, and the other one shakes its head.
Yeah, as it looks at father to see if he knew about the city.
Okay. He goes, "Well, my father said that there was a city up there. He said it was abandoned. And he was about middle age. So about 500 years old."
Well, he was right.
I'd have
now
thought
it's-
myself he was about 700 when I was born.
Well, he was right, and it's being populated right now. But I also have a theory why it is one of the uncaptured cities. It's still a theory, but it seems to be working out.
He nods towards you and gestures towards you and says, "Well, you definitely inherited my intelligence, so I assume you have some thoughts that are worthwhile."
Yeah, well, the thing is, up north there are no way lines for magic. Like, the magic there around is weak.
Yes, I remember my father mentioning something about they wanted to develop magical technology, so they moved away from the lower and upper poles.
Yeah, so the further you go down, the more magic there is, and as you can see, the further you go down, the more shadow there is.
They have a point. And he looks at the man-tie and says, "So, where are you guys from? Though I have an idea, sometimes man-tie do move around." And the one that can speak sort of looks over towards the other one. And the one that knows the map, you need to roll, actually. Okay.
Oh, do I need to roll, or does he need to roll? Okay.
Luckily, he motions towards the map, and he uses his scythe-like appendage to point at the map. But luckily, he does not rip your map in half, as he
Not
does.
that- Not that I cannot fix that.
Yes, but that's what I was rolling for. To see if he ripped up your map by pointing at it, because they tend to not know their strength, and they can easily just rip things apart. Which is why they tend not to be scholars. Some of them are, but they tend not to be.
Yeah.
So he points to the desert location called the Shifting Plains.
Let's see the shifting base. Where is it?
It's on the left side of the map near the Burning Sea.
Ah, yes.
So
I see.
he points to that, and the man and your father says, "Of course, these are desert manta.
Yeah.
Desert. Of course."
Well, was it all you want to know from them?
Like hell, they were from near here, and it. But look here, stuff.
Okay, well then.
Lost here, like us.
Yeah, well then
He's visibly frustrated.
Well, I have some good news and some bad news for you.
For who? Your father?
Well, yeah.
Okay. He looks at you.
Bad news is that I might have less than, what, maybe 12, 13 hours on this plane before I'm being pulled back to the elemental plane of air.
He looks at you and says, "What were you doing there?"
Well, to bring it short, I was with a group who had a sled, and his magic is very unstable. Okay.
Working with Slatty?
Well, okay. Just give him a moment.
Okay. So, guys, I'll check in with you guys. Any comment?
Just waiting to return to the plane of air.
Well, apparently I have to quit, but I will round this up a little bit quick.
Okay.
Bad news being that I'm being pulled away. Good news is that there is a city there, and if they can get there, well, they are safe. And Arosan just explains why he was there, what happened, just in a shortened version.
As soon as you mention Slatty, he stops you and he looks at you as if you're crazy, and will end your thing there.
Okay. Well, got to go.
Alright.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Alright.
No.
Bye.
Bye.
So we'll switch back to you two. Hoping to get a little bit further with him, but unfortunately I did that. And I don't know if it came across well, but I was trying to go for more of a Lord of the Rings help with this character, his father character. I don't know if it came off that.
Lord of the...
Rings.
Yeah, which one?
Some of the more stereotypical ones
Yeah.
that tend to be more high and mighty sort of thing.
Yeah.
Either way. So you guys are there. You guys are resting. And I'll say 8 hours later you awaken. Still dark outside.
Okay.
Hello.
Goran. Alright, there.
So dark.
Whoa, what just happened?
Go. Why is it so dark?
Can you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard you that.
Okay. I asked why is it so dark still?
Am I Goran now again? Right? Or
Yes, you're going.
Yeah.
And you're both sleeping in the
in the hero tent or whatever. The one from the beginning.
unfortunately, that one isn't set up.
Yeah.
However, you are sleeping in the temple. There's some beds in there that you are currently using. And you're sleeping in the same area.
I think that's because we're inside. There's no light there. I would imagine that's why it's dark. I could fix that.
And just to interject, you both had long rests.
Yeah.
Both have long rests. Okay.
I need stuff. I'm out of stuff. I had no spells, no social points, no anything.
So you're back. You're rejuvenated.
Refreshing.
I'm still tired. I'm still tired and I want to go back to sleep.
So I would assume you don't want me to turn on the light then.
Oh, turn on the light. We need the light. Make the light happen.
Okay, I turn. Is there anything in particular you want lit up?
I'm just tired.
Okay, so I light up whatever's nearby. I just touch something in the room and light it up.
Why? It's too bright. No. It's too bright.
Okay, I can turn it off again.
Turn it off.
I turn it off. It's completely dark.
I can't see.
I'll turn on the light in the hallway, so I just go out in the hallway and
Okay,
turn on
ready?
the light.
My eyes are closed.
Yes, there's slight light coming into the room from the hallway.
There is light.
It's bright.
So I'll be outside when you wake up.
Okay, go. Bordello, what are we doing again?
I think we're waiting to be teleported.
But I want breakfast.
I mean, if you hurry up and wake up, I'm sure you can have some
Okay,
breakfast.
I'm awake. I want breakfast.
I'm aware I'm talking to you. Talking to you, I would assume you're awake.
Breakfast. I want the breakfast. Please.
Alright, I mean, I still have some rations from the gift. Otherwise...
Thank you.
Okay, so you yoink one of my rations. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used any, so like 9 rations. Yeah. I'd take one as well.
His rations aren't the standardized rations that you
What would they give me?
technically they would just summon random chunks of whatever they needed to.
I have pre-summoned food.
Yeah, it's because the land is so chaotic. They can summon seeds and things like that to grow crops, but they tend not to because it takes mental fortitude to allow stable ground in Limbo. So they tend to not make large farmland. They tend to just control the chaos into giving them food. So they usually don't kill things, but sometimes meat, just a random hunk of meat, will show up in the chaos, and they grab it, or a random piece of fruit. Sometimes like giant fruit that is as big as a house shows up, and then they grab onto it. Different random things. So you just have random assortment of pieces of stuff. Whereas standard rations tend to have a little section of cheese, a little section of meat, a little section of fruit and nuts and things like that.
I'm not sure what everything is made of. Everything should taste good.
Yeah, so it could be a random hunk of meat of something that might make Lily sick, but you're not sure. It's probably not something that will make her sick, but it
She's
might.
willing to take the chance.
Yes.
So, roll a Constitution saving. And depending on what you get,
Constitution
yes. And depending on what you get,
Ooh,
Okay.
8. How's that?
it doesn't taste good, but it doesn't make you vomit. When you
Okay.
so that happens.
I missed part of what you said.
Oh, I said it doesn't taste good, but it doesn't make you vomit when you eat it.
Mhm.
As you take it, I say, yeah, good choice. It's one of my favorites.
It's got all the very tasty nut.
What did you say? All the very tastiness.
Yes, all very tasty.
Yeah,
I don't have the
what
thought,
she
so I
picked up
believe you.
is like a little container filled with nuts and berries of varying shapes and sizes. They're not the best tasting, but they're fine.
My character's not exactly intelligent. They taste amazing to her.
Okay,
She has a bad palate.
well, it's not the highest quality, I'll say that. But it's food, and it sustains you, and it doesn't make you sick. So
Right.
that's a good sign. If
Yes.
you would have gotten lower, you might have gotten sick. Luckily, you.
Yeah.
So, start eating this stuff. And I'll assume that you guys sort of, as you're eating, you just sort of nonchalantly walk outside the temple and sit down on one of the steps. It is currently really early morning because you guys went to sleep pretty quickly. Goroth went to sleep a little earlier, and he was sort of just sitting in the dark a little bit, thinking about stuff when he woke up for about 10-15.
I mean, he's traveled far in that day, so I think he earned that.
Yeah. So, you guys are sitting there eating, and it's still dark as night, but it's technically morning. And here's something that you witness. You see, it looks like some deep gnomes, which are the blue gnome that you saw before. They're they're sort of like sitting on some sort of beast, and they're currently doing something with the farmland. You're not sure what.
I point over towards the beast. Do you know what that what those species are?
You can roll
Are you
Lily.
talking to me?
Yeah. He's talking to Lily.
Would she know what they are?
You can roll nature to see if you know what they are.
What do you want me to roll again?
Nature.
Nature, okay.
I'm going to try to turn up my volume.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. So you have no idea what those things are.
Obviously, they're like tiny people.
I meant the thing that's pulling, or the creature that's pulling. What is that implement? I swear I've seen them somewhere before. I'm gonna try to make a nature with advantage, because I can.
Okay, sure.
What is it? Nature, right?
Yeah.
Yes, great. Nature plus 1. 16.
Okay. She sort of seemed confused by your question. However, you look at these things, and you've seen them in the vast libraries of the Gith. There's a book about these things. They're called bullets.
Oh.
So they're sort of those I'll pull up a picture. But tell me what that wild search does.
I'm just resistant to all damage for a minute. That's one of the book ones. So yeah, I tell Lily, I think they are called bullets.
What's that? Do you fire them or something?
No, the creature that's pulling the implements down there. The large
Yeah,
one.
why are they having stupid names?
Well, I didn't name them.
Well,
So I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
I'll pull this. I'll say that since you know what they are, you know why they're called bullets and why bullets are
I
called
do.
bullets.
Okay.
It's because bullets are kind of shaped similarly and go just about as quickly as they do. So that's where it comes from.
It's because they're kind of shaped like bullets for those guns.
oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Like the one Arosan keeps waving around.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They still look really weird.
They don't exactly look like musket balls, though they can roll up to be like musket balls, but they don't. But they are formed similarly. I'm sure.
Do you think they're delicious?
I have never tried, but I have seen worse creatures. They don't look that bad.
Me too.
This is what they look like.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the gnomes are riding on this part here. If you can see my mouse.
Yes.
See where the spike sticks up on their backs? They sort of have used that as they're holding onto the spike to control where their head goes, and that controls where the creature walks.
Some of the gnomes unfortunately gets impaled. It's a side effect of working in the industry.
Well, I mean, sometimes bullets are very temperamental, and they do sometimes just try to run away and things like that. They're almost impossible to tame, but these gnomes seem to have found a way. And the bullets don't look really happy, and they're growling angrily at times when they get their head turned in a different direction. But they seem to be listening to their masters at the moment. And the implements that they're using are kind of like farming implements. What are those things called that till the ground? I don't remember. But
Tillers?
sure. They're like
Plow.
plows, that's it, plows.
Plows.
Yeah, they're sort of like plowing the ground. And things like that. Some of them do have these weird mechanisms on their back, but you don't recognize those right off the bat. You have to roll. I'd say an Arcana would be the closest thing.
So I ask Lily, so do you want to go and talk to the deep gnomes? See what they're doing? You're still sharing your
Sure.
screen, by the way.
Send the stupid one in. That's a great idea.
I'm going with you,
Yes.
it's fine.
Yes, she will go.
Okay.
I have
Let's
great
go.
charisma. It's...
I'm sure you do. However, you guys go down there, and you see one of the deep gnomes currently grabbing onto the spike. Turning the thing's head around the corner nearby.
What color are they?
They're sort of like this. Some of them are white, some of them are gray. This particular one, however, is like a dark gray. The gnomes themselves, if that's what you were referring to, I wasn't
Yes.
asking. If you're asking about the gnomes,
Do the gnomes?
They have different shades of bluish skin.
Okay.
So, like some are more white in color, like have more. Like imagine you're using a color slider, and some of them have more white in their skin tone, and some of them have more black, if you will. So it's just they're blue, but different gradients or whatever the word is.
Okay.
So yeah, since it's still dark out, just on the way, I'm gonna see if I can pick up a small pebble.
Sure, you have one.
And I give Lily a glowing rock. I just cast light on it.
Thank you.
See what I found.
It's
Yep.
bright. I like it. It's super shiny.
You can
Okay,
have
so-
it. I see well in the dark.
I'm gonna walk over to the Durgard? No.
No,
These are deep gnomes. They're basically gnomes that live deep underground, and they have blue skin. That's basically the only difference.
I'm going up to him.
Hey, Purple, how you doing?
He stops his beast by pulling its head back, and it unnaturally bends its head back, causes the beast to stop. And he looks over and
That's a
goes,
really big pal you got there.
he looks down at you. Do you speak Undercommon?
I speak
do
common.
they start speaking in Undercommon?
They do speak. He starts speaking Undercommon.
Okay. So yeah, did you speak Undercommon, Lily?
I don't. I speak common, elf, and halfling.
Okay.
So yeah, I would shoot him a message. I'm afraid we don't speak that language.
He looks over. He actually is a little disoriented by what's happening.
I just sort of wave at them.
And he looks towards you, and he just sort of looks like he's focusing really hard, even though he doesn't have to respond. And he goes, "What?"
I said it looks like... I basically repeat myself.
Okay. So he goes, "All right. What languages does she speak?"
Lily, what languages do you speak?
So I relay to him. I speak common, halfling, and elven.
Okay.
And I relay that.
I'm gonna roll a d20. That usually helps me with my random. Okay. So he goes in Elven. Says, "I haven't used this in a while. Hello."
Hello, Purple. How are you?
Okay, since I don't understand Elven, I'm just gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
And you get surface thoughts. And I'll say that he has to think the words before he says them.
Okay.
So if he thinks something weird before he speaks, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So he goes, "A while now. Did you say?"
Huh? No, Purple.
He waves and he goes, "I'm not purple."
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Are you speaking to him in Elven, by the way?
Yes,
Oh.
I am.
Okay. And he goes, "Sure, I'm purple." And he waves at you again.
Okay, so for a question for you, Lily, are you actually thinking he's purple? Like, do you have problems in color, or are you just messing with him?
No, I'm just messing with him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he waves. Did you want to say anything else?
Purple.
He nods towards you.
I
Do
missed
you
the first
want
part.
anything?
Oh, do I want anything?
Yes, so many things.
Anything?
So slow.
She turns
He
to.
goes-
Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
turns to Ben's character, whose name I can just not remember.
Gora.
Gora. Okay. Gora.
Go, Raffy!
In common.
I'm tired of speaking like this. It's really hard. I talk fast and I have to talk slow, and it's really my brain hurts.
Well, okay. We don't have to talk to them.
The deep gnome looks over towards you, Cora. And he just sort of shrugs.
So yeah, I just shoot him a message. Well, I was just curious what you were doing up so early.
And then he answers back to you in your head. Well, us deep gnomes like the dark. The night is dark. So we said that we would help volunteer on the farms. So use our beasts of burden to help.
Well, as long as you enjoy tilling the farms, then I suppose there's nothing wrong with that.
Helps us get some food. Have an agreement with the pit here. We get a portion of the food, so works out.
Okay. I also have a portion of my food. It's in my backpack.
He looks at you, and then he thinks, "Get back to work."
Come again.
He goes, "Can I get back to work?" But he's just thinking that. He's not purposely sending it to you.
Yeah. So yeah, I just say, yeah, sure. Just go back to work. Yeah. Have a nice night, day, something like that. And I walk away.
He nods towards you. They continue. He basically pushes the beast's horn forward, kind of violently. However, it just starts going forward. It doesn't look happy, but the beast doesn't look happy.
Okay, so it's visibly upset, like...
The beast is visibly, like, grunting.
Is the beast intelligent at all?
You're trying to detect thoughts. You can get surface thoughts from it, but it doesn't have the ability to speak a language. Therefore, it just sort of goes, mean, don't like you, and keeps going.
Okay. Are you treating the... Okay, so I just turn around again. I say just... Are you treating the bullets alright? They don't seem very happy with you guys.
And he just sort of turns around as the beast keeps moving. And he goes, well, these things are quite hard and tough. You don't treat them a little bit roughly. They don't listen. They don't respect.
Well, I don't think this one likes you. Should probably feed it more. Be nicer to it.
I'll try. I'll understand that, but give it a go. He continues going.
Sure, that's it.
Alright. So, the camp is your oyster. Do you want to do anything? Or it becomes daylight?
Where are you off to next, Lily?
If you don't have anything, I can get you to roll and see what you see. So, I can have random events happen if you want.
Can we go into somebody's tent? Can we put their hand in warm water?
Why would we do that?
We'll pee.
To
Make them pee.
make them pee.
They have to be sleeping though.
I haven't heard about this before. I don't see why the reasoning behind this is
It's fun.
fun. Doesn't seem like very much fun.
Go, Raffy Raff.
Doesn't seem like very much fun. It's more of a necessity. I think it's more of a necessity.
Okay, let's go do it.
Okay, she runs off. I
Can we
assume.
do it the howler? Can we do it the howler? I want to do it the howler.
I don't know where he sleeps.
Dang, he is a smart one.
I'm just following you. Where are you going?
The nearest tent to us.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a dice for this. Oh, good googly moogle. Something.
Well, we already made the underground upset. Now let's do the camp area.
You see, old man and an old woman, but they have sheets up to their neck, and they are currently sleeping.
Guess who ain't great at stealth? This one. Let's go and sneak in and move the sheet a little bit so I can stick their hand in some. Wait, do we have warm water to begin with?
I don't think so. Do we have
There's
any
water. You can warm it up if you want. There's
Okay.
campfires and stuff. So yes, I'll say that there's warm water nearby.
Perfect. Okay, I grabbed the warm water. And how close are these two in proximity to each other?
They are laying directly next to each other.
Oh, it's a twofer! Alright, 2 for 1. Let's do this.
special deals only today?
Right.
Apparently.
So, I try to sneak into their tent.
Alright, roll stealth check. Anybody who is going into the tent.
Oh dear God.
Technically, you have disadvantage.
I'm just at the outside, so should I just stay here, or what are you doing?
He's asking Lily what he...
Oh, my apologies. I thought you were talking to Matt. Yeah, come in or not come in, whichever.
So I just follow you. It doesn't look like I'm gonna make any attempt to hide, but it doesn't look like I'm trying to make noise either, so I'm just walking normally.
Okay, I'll say roll a stealth, and that will determine whether or not they detect.
Okay. 8.
Okay, Lily, technically you have disadvantage, so because you have heavy armor.
Oh yeah, that's alright.
So roll again.
I don't.
You got lower. So
I know.
you walk into the room. They are asleep at the moment. Because there are people moving by the tent, so perhaps they aren't awoken just by somebody walking in. So, what do you want to do? Let's
Put
enact the plan.
cup between them. Huh?
I said, let's enact the plan.
Put the cup between them, very close to their hands.
Okay. You don't see their hands. They're basically just laying with their arms at their side, underneath a sheet of some sort. It looks like
Okay.
perhaps it's an animal skin, maybe?
I will fondle around to see if I could grab their hands and then put them in the water.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to make a dexterity saving throw.
You're gonna give me what?
Dexterity saving throw. That's what you need to do. Okay, great. So you don't touch any inappropriate parts, luckily.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So that's what that was for. So you start moving the sheet. Do you want to just pull the sheet down until you see their hands? Is that what you're doing?
No, I was thinking of like going underneath, grabbing where I'm assuming their hand would be, because I'm sure there's like a outline of their body underneath.
Yes, you can see like a vague outline of their body.
Right. So grab their hands and then put them in the water at the same time.
Okay. So you're gonna just sort of nonchalantly just reach into their sheet, or are you just
Right.
putting your face in there and then reaching? Because that does make a difference in the situation.
My hands Like, I'm
Just
not
the
putting my
hand.
face in. Just the hands.
Okay.
Grab
Okay.
their hand, drop them.
Okay. So you reach in. You start looking. I'm gonna actually get you to make an investigation check to see if you reach their hands or if you grab something else first, or
10.
decent enough. So you manage to grab onto the older man's elbow. You're not sure if they're human or elven or whatnot, because it's kind of dark. But I assume you left the light outside, but if you didn't, then that might explain your stealth roll.
No, the lights are
Okay, so that explains your stealth roll. So you grab one of their arms. You're not sure which one it is, though based on the location, it sort of feels like an elbow and it's bent a little bit. And based on its location, seems like it's the woman's arm. And the woman wakes up with a blinding light in her face and goes, "Oh no!" And the man wakes up and she starts covering herself up with the blanket,
Okay.
kind of like afraid, not realizing what's happening. And he gets up. I'm gonna get.
I asked them both, is everything okay?
Come on.
Okay, before that though,
Okay.
before you get to that, the man just sort of leaps out of the sheet. Gorath, I'm gonna need you to make a perception check, and Lily also.
Perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just staring at both of them, so...
I don't see anything. They're there. That's it.
Gorath, you notice that they are currently not wearing any clothing.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
So the man leaps out of the sheet, not wearing any clothing, and he reaches over and grabs, like, a wooden implement of some sort, and then you ask, is everything okay? And he goes, of course not, as he swings at the source of the light. So, he has a +6 to hit. Wow, he nat 20 hit. So he smacks you in the arm with what looks like a wooden glove, perhaps, and he knocks the pebble out of your hand onto the floor, but he also does damage.
Can I say something to the guy?
I'll let you after you get him. So you
After
take
what?
2 damage. Okay, so the stone rolls to the floor. What do you say?
Don't you guys want some hot tea this morning?
And Lily doesn't actually notice that they're naked. So
Right.
she's just acting like this is a normal situation. And Gorath, you notice this, but you might not realize that this isn't a normal situation.
I don't really care about that.
Okay. And but you heard the man say that, of course, not everything's okay, and hit.
Okay, so I asked him what seems to be the problem. I thought you were having fun.
And he goes, What? And the woman goes, that is an inappropriate thing to say.
Oh, like, what?
They assume that you're talking about something else.
Yeah, I'm
And
not,
they are naked,
not
so
talking about
I assume you, as a player, know what's happening. You know.
Yeah. So I asked him, okay, why are you starting to hit people? That's not very nice.
And he
I think
goes,
that's a bit uncalled for.
He goes, uncalled for? You two just barged into our tent and attempted to grab our arms.
What are you
Is
talking
there?
about? I have tea for you. I was giving you tea. Aren't you thirsty? It's morning, sir.
He goes, okay, so you're Very unintelligent, I can see this now. Leave or I will beat you to death.
Goodbye. Run.
Alright, so you begin running.
So yeah, as I leave, I say I'm sorry if the fun was not up to your standards.
What did he
And
say? What did he say?
I say basically I'm sorry because you said that was just fun, right? So I said to them before I left, I'm sorry if the fun was not up to your standards.
okay. She says. Actually, she just reaches and grabs like a boot and throws it at you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it hits you or not. It's not gonna do.
Well, human entertainment is strange.
You can say that as you walk out.
Yeah.
It's a good ending, right? Walk out.
I don't think they enjoyed that as much as you did.
Well, we might have been giving them tea. They don't know.
It was definitely not tea. Lying's not a good thing either.
Oh,
Unless you need
that's
it.
a good point.
In some cases it's okay, but like, not always.
Maybe you should tell them it was tea next time.
I don't think I will.
Okay. I
I'd
guess
just
we're
say
not gonna
it's
make that tea.
Unless you want to bring tea, then I can say it's tea.
we could put tea inside of it and then put their hands so that way it's like they're in warm water and if they wake up we could just tell them we brought them tea because we did.
I don't think that's a very good idea. They seem
That's
very
a
upset.
stretch. Yeah, it's a stretch.
And as you guys are talking, you see
Just
a
right
bright
outside
light.
their tent.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
You see a bright light just stumble across the ground. It's the rock that was causing the bright light.
Okay, let's go look at the light. It's pretty and shiny and I like it.
Well, I can just put it on any rock, but yeah. I can also put it on your weapons or something if you prefer.
Can you do that, please? Oh my god, can you do it on my back?
On your belt? Or on your backpack? I just heard D. Yeah, okay. Okay, there again. I heard, can you put it on B?
On my battle axe.
Okay.
Battle axe. Yeah, it's done. It's glowing.
Cool.
Look at it glow! That's so neat!
A random passerby just walks by. Not even saying anything.
So, do you have anything else in mind, this camp? You've been here before, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not smart.
Well, you were here the last time I was here, and I was only here for a short duration.
I don't remember. What's duration mean?
It's time period.
Okay, yeah. Maybe. I think so.
So, anything in particular that's interesting in the camp?
Yeah, there's the temple. And I did something really not smart. I scared some people because they thought I was crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm just stupid. Or dumb. Both. I'm both.
He's basically
Okay.
describing the situation that happened before.
Yeah, they thought I was gonna kill them or kill myself. I was like a danger to society and a menace.
Pretty accurate.
Well, it seems like you've had a lot of fun, I guess.
I did have a lot of fun. I scared them, but that was okay.
What?
Should try and be more careful next time.
I could
Well, I sometimes get in trouble too. Not that often.
That's what
And if I do, I can just look like somebody else. It's very neat.
You're like sparkly and shiny when you do that. I admire you.
Okay.
That's a good enough answer. So what do you guys want to do? If you don't have anything in particular that you guys want to do.
Did you have anything, Lily?
Yeah, let's go look at the temple more. I mean, like I scared him, but you're here now, so I won't scare him because you're smart.
The temple? I mean, we're looking at the temple. It's this whole thing, right? Anything in particular?
This is like the base of it. This is the pyramid part, and then up at the top is like where we worship and stuff, or they worship. I don't know.
Okay, so we head towards the top then, I assume?
I think so.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go!
You guys start walking up there.
So we what?
You start walking up there. Is there any particular place that you
I'm just following Lily at this point.
Okay, Lily, where are you going? Where?
To the top of the to the actual temple part of the pyramid.
Okay, so you're going to the very top? Because that isn't the temple part. The temple part.
I'm sorry, what?
The part where the people worship in the temple is at the bottom.
Right.
So where do you want to go? You're going up? Where up?
Oh shoot. I think it was the south. The south side had stairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the south side up.
Okay, you're going up.
Correct.
Where do you want to go once you start going up? There's four floors that aren't the bottom floor.
Oh, up to the top where everything where the magic happens.
Okay, you go up to the top. That's where Howler's office is. He basically took over that room and made it into the war room.
Okay. Yeah, let's see if Howler's home.
So you go up.
Yeah, I run inside.
Howler, 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 howler!
Would Howler be in that place? He have gone.
He would be out looking for information about that in it's gonna be goldfish.
You're looking for what happens during the ritual.
Yes, basically details on the ritual, like asking Indaro and stuff. So probably not at this point.
Okay. Alright. So he's not there.
Howler, you left me. Why?
Well, you just witnessed her talking to herself.
I don't think the Howler is here.
I know. I still miss him though. Do you want to
I'm
go
sure.
scare some more people downstairs?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
That is a terrible idea. That's why I said it.
Okay. Do you have any better ideas?
Nope.
Maybe we could just take a stroll around the camp, see if we see anything interesting.
Let's go take a stroller around.
Okay. Sure. It's like random encounters or just outside the temple.
I have a few ideas. But it depends on your perception checks.
Yes. I will roll with advantage because I can. I cast Detect Thoughts earlier. Don't worry, I have -1, but advantage. So 11.
4.
So, yeah, let's get your wild search early.
Okay. So, if I notice something, I'm about to let Lily know, just confused. I start whenever I start to talk, just pink bubbles come out of my mouth.
Okay, this keep getting the same ones over and over, even though you have a D100. So yeah, you start. You see. So hard, guys. Here's what you notice. You notice. Well, actually, this thing might be. So let's go. You notice on the tree line, with the circular exterior which starts the tree line, you see a strange-looking tree.
So yeah,
When you go to point it out, you can't tell.
Okay, so I go to point it out, and all you can see is pink bubbles coming out of my mouth. So instead, I will shoot you a message.
Okay.
It would appear I cannot speak, but I see something over there. That strange tree. Have you seen it before?
Real quickly, she goes over and pops a couple of the bubbles, and then she looks to the tree.
Okay, you guys are quite far away, and it is nighttime. So the only reason you could tell that the tree was different because it's got different leaves than the other trees.
Do you wish to check it out?
Let's go look at this guy, tree, animal, human thing. Let's go!
The first would have been enough, but okay. Keep walking.
Yeah, go over and check it out.
So you guys go over there. You get within 30 feet, and you're going to get you to make investigation check.
Investigation.
There's some things that you're going to see automatically.
As we start approaching, do I like see any? I'm just gonna disguise myself as kind of like a tree, because I can get my advantage.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay.
See, this guy, you have to think like a tree.
So how long do the bubbles last?
A minute.
Okay, then that's... By the time you get over there, they'll have died off.
So yeah, I shoot out the magic missile at 5th level.
At what?
At whatever I choose, like magic missiles, something I have to see it. So, do I see anything in particular?
Make a perception check.
Okay, that would probably be bad. Perception. I don't see much.
No. You see the tree, and you see other trees, and you see buildings, and you see random civilians walking around, and you see your friend. So, who do you want to shoot?
Okay. So I just sneeze out as I try to look at the tree. I think I might have pollen or something, and just at 5th level. That means so 7 different trees on a row, like one missile fly into each of them.
Okay. It mildly damages.
If it's something that with HP, it's 3 damage
The
each.
HP isn't going to matter. Trees aren't going to die from one.
Yeah. Not just in case it's something there.
Yeah, that's nothing's there. On the ones that you aimed, anyway. However, the thing that made you sneeze is the fact that you saw what looked like a face imprinted into the tree. And the thing that you automatically notice, however, is that the tree's bark is yellow.
Yellow. Okay, so I pointed over to Lily. I say, the tree has got a face.
Other than a face, what else does it? Just a face? Like, can we distinguish the features on the face?
Yes. You actually recognize this face, and it's protruding out of the tree, but it looks like it's part of the tree. You know whose face this is. This is your former companion who decided to walk off.
Okay, so it's Aladar.
You see his face protruding out of the tree.
Hello?
It's just sort of looking like its eyes are closed and its face is sort of tilted down. I'm not sure if this is an actual person or any of it. It's not responding, but its face is tilted down.
I try to look at what it's looking at.
It doesn't appear to be looking at anything, but you look down in the direction that it's looking at. You just see more yellow roots digging into the ground.
Have you seen anything like this before?
Has my character seen anything like this dude?
I'm going to get you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Say that again?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Gotcha. 26.
Alright? Same thing as when you were on the Sphinx. You start to get a memory. You're walking through a forest that has yellow trees and red leaves. And you're walking next to this person that you saw before, this fey creature. And you're sort of just having a conversation, nonchalantly. And then you see this weird, you're just sort of like, hey, this tree looks weird. Yeah, just sort of normal conversation. Then you get another flash. What looks like your friend, your fey friend, has like a root of a yellow root from one of the trees attached to the back of his head. And there's a tree behind him that has arms and legs. More roots. Thick roots on the bottom that it probably uses to move. And one of the roots is attached to his head. And he's sort of just yelling and screaming. And then you sort of come back.
Okay. I'll relay bits and pieces of that to Gora real quick.
Okay.
So, is the fate turning people to trees, or is it just I don't know what you take from that.
It's magic!
I'm not sure what
it's
a weird memory, and it's supposed to help you, but you have a feeling that this is relevant information. You have to apply it.
I apologize, gentlemen. I got a skedaddle.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you have like a couple more seconds?
Yes, I can do a couple more seconds.
Okay. So I just want to end it off as the face sort of starts to look up and awakens a little bit, lackadaisically. And you see, coming out from behind the tree, the fey creature that you keep seeing in your visions. You see probably his hatred. And as your friend, the face of your friend, you're not sure if it's him or not, starts to wake up, he says, if you hear coming from the tree, just make it stop, please. And then the fey creature comes over and places his hand on top of the face And he goes back up cold, and he looks towards Lily and he says, "Hello, haven't seen you in a while." And that's where we're gonna end.
All right.
So-
I won't be able to be here next week.
Okay. Just another thing, I wanted to see if we could get together for the future thing.
Okay.
So I want you guys to discuss that at some point.
Right now or in the chat?
Whenever you have time. I assume you don't have time because you said you had
I
to go.
apologize. I
So-
have to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever.
I'll send you a message when I have a few moments.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
See you.
Bye. Yeah, maybe